Good morning, St. Paul. This is Wesley Wright, your Un-Bougie Foodie. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Really do appreciate that. It is a great morning because, well, every day when you wake up and able to see the day, it's a great morning. But I feel because of the fact that today marks an entire year that I have actually been your Un-Bougie Foodie. It's been really exciting, bringing you new places, talking about different topics of food, and I hope that it continues. It's been an exciting year. Today, I have a really good topic that we're going to be talking about, and I touched on it last week, which was more so about, there was a Netflix show called What the Health, and so I wanted to have more of a discussion with that, so it's going to be a little bit more in depth. So first off, I want to encourage anyone that is interested in calling in. Please feel free to do so. The telephone number to reach me here at the Un-Bougie Foodie here at the radio station is 651-200-3479. Again, that's 651-200-3479. And specifically in the second half of the hour, we're going to really delve more into that conversation about how food is being processed, or how it is to consumers. I'm actually going to have a guest on the show, my trainer, Tracy Yang. So I'm looking forward to having her. And this will give you an opportunity to ask questions, just enjoy the conversation and be in the conversation as well as we talk about that. But first and foremost, also, I want to let you know that if you're interested in finding out what the Un-Bougie Foodie is constantly doing, either on a daily basis or weekly basis, now please visit my Facebook page, which is the Un-Bougie Foodie, or else follow me on Instagram, which is _Un-Bougie Foodie. You could also hear or read some of my moments of food truth or not on Twitter, which is at Un-Bougie Foodie. And then if you have any direct questions that you'd like to ask, please feel free to send me an email at theunbougiefoodie@gmail.com. Again, that's theunbougiefoodie@gmail.com. And I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Or if you have any suggestions or topics that you'd like to maybe see or listen to or hear discussed on the air, please drop us a line, and we'll be more than happy to share those points, those suggestions, those topics on air. So once again, that telephone number at the radio station is 651-200-3479. And again, I would really love to hear your thoughts on what you feel about, I suppose, living more of a plant-based lifestyle. Certainly, I always encourage everyone to be the type of foodie that they want to be. I definitely do research myself on these subjects, and I'm interested in getting a better understanding. I am personally, as you've heard, my trainer is going to be coming in, so we've been working together for about the past 4 weeks, and seeing the difference of the way that I'm feeling, paying attention to the type of foods that I eat. Now, mind you, I am still going out, to a restaurant and enjoying myself, and having a great meal. I think things need to be in moderation. And I understand, persons that are making a decision to eat more of a plant-based lifestyle, because I know my trainer is. And believe me, we still have conversations about, where have I gone, what have I eaten, and things like that. I know she's looking out for me health-wise. But, I think everyone appreciates a variety of different types of food. So, of course, to just say that I am only going to really get a full understanding of just what veganism is, or being a vegetarian, I think that kind of limits maybe even the people that we meet. People get a exchange of either encouragement or ideas when they talk to different people, whether it be cultures, the type of food that they eat. You never know what a vegetarian or vegan might be able to impart to someone that is not a vegan or vegetarian. And the reverse. There have been so many videos that are out there just talking about a variety of subjects. Well, not subjects, but specifically on the different videos that are being viewed and being talked about, such as What the Health and others. People debunking the What the Health video, or asking the question, where is this data coming from? Is it being sponsored by some of the food industry, or individuals that really don't want you to have any part of the fast foods and so forth. And there is nothing wrong with providing information. I think really you have to look into it for yourself and make that determination. I think I was a friend was mentioning that an experience that he knows of someone else has had, and apparently health-wise they were able to improve their health based on just having or turning to now a plant-based lifestyle. And that's not to say that a person that is not totally vegan can't enjoy those opportunities for improving their health. Definitely, you're always encouraged to increase your vegetable and your fruit intake. Of course, too much of anything is going to be, if you would, detrimental. So a balance is necessary. And whereas I know personally I enjoy a good steak, pork chop or whatnot. I don't eat it every day or very, very frequently. If anything, admittedly, I eat more fish and chicken. Those are dishes, or those are specific meats or animals, if you want to say, that I enjoy. I know that I can cook them well. Have a number of ideas of how I'd like to use a certain herbs or some type of spices or whatever to enhance the flavor. But that's just myself. Going out similarly, to certain restaurants, you're conscious of the different types of foods that are out there, and you want to input in your body. But an extreme can... I'm no nutritionist or dietitian. I do see from other folks, their viewpoint, their experience, watching them changing their diet, and you see them feel so much better if they had any type of health issue, or they were taking medication to improve a specific symptom or disease that they may have had or maybe continue to have, but now it's just lessen the dosage that they're using. Whatever the case is, I have seen that. I have definitely seen that. Making that decision, of course, is one person's. We shouldn't be actually feeling a certain way if someone has made that decision to go to be a vegan or vegetarian, or not to be a vegan or vegetarian. I know that I've talked in the past about different places that are in the St. Paul area or Minnesota area. I think there was a specific one that was in the St. Paul area. And vegetarian. I do remember it. It was the first one I think I remember is J. Selby's. J. Selby's is 169 North Victoria Street in St. Paul, and they offer a wide variety of different dishes. They are cauliflower wings, and now I thought that was quite interesting. Cauliflower wings, burgers, of all places, a place that's more vegan or vegetarian, a burger, or even, as they say, cauliflower wings. So there still are a number of different places throughout the cities that offer, if you're interested in becoming vegan or vegetarian, you certainly have options within the city. So the topic, really is one that's, it's kind of like, gosh, I don't want to try to sound all, but it's fire right now. People are really talking about it to a level of, they see a video and automatically they're just turned off, and that's understandable. But I think of it also, what about those that's just one end of the spectrum, if you would, because that is the larger farms, manufactured, and so on. But then what about the local farmers? Those, I think they pay more attention to how the treatment of their animals are, the care of their animals. If you have any thoughts or viewpoints on that, please be interested in hearing them, or if you'd like to share, please reach us here at the radio station at 651-200-3479. Again, that number is 651-200-3479. Right now, I want to also take the time to welcome my friend, my trainer, my nutritionist, somewhat, Tracy Yang.
Hello,
say hi,
everyone.
Tracy. Cool. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm excited to be here.
Cool. So I know that we talked yesterday, well, even just through the week, but yesterday specifically we were talking about that video.
Yes.
What the health, exactly. And I understand. I haven't really truly formed a real opinion about it as yet. I've got to make it. I think everybody is going to make a change based off of something that they've seen, and they're like, okay,
right.
I need to change something, or I need to cut back on this, but to take things out of the equation, or certain cuisines or areas of what we ingest totally out of the system, out of the equation. I don't know about that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't seen the entire film yet,
Right.
but from what I've seen so far, one, I think the information that he presents, the filmmaker presents, is actually, at least for me, I feel like it's pretty outdated. Like he wasn't presenting anything that I was like, oh, that's new. I was like, oh yeah, I already know. Like, but now the I would say dangers of movies like this is how they always present the information is they want to scare people.
Right.
And I don't think that is a very wise way in order to get people to change their minds.
Right.
Because if you want people to change, you know, for good, meaning in the long-term scheme of things, like you want to make sure that that they fully understand what it is that they're getting into, because you know, a lot of people, they'll watch the movie and be like, oh my gosh, Tracy, I'm totally gonna be vegan, vegetarian now.
Right.
Like, and what do? And they go cold turkey right away, and then they go, oh man, this is hard. So then they end up going back. They reverting back into you know, eating meat and all that sort of stuff. And I think something else that people need to understand, at least from what I've seen so far in the movie, is that he talks a lot about processed meat.
Yes, exactly.
And
that's important. That's an important point to bring out too, because I know I was just touching on it, and you know, about how along those lines, the difference between the large manufactured or where they're really like crammed together, or like cows and cattle and so forth are all together in these pens or whatnot, whereas like a local farmer, they may not have as many, you know, cows or pigs or something like that, or just livestock, you know, all crammed. They're free range, or you know, they're free range, if you would, you know, and have the acreage to graze and to eat and so on. And I apologize, I interrupted you. You had a point.
Oh, no worries. No worries. But yeah, it's pretty much, he's talking about a diet full of processed foods, and you know, and he zeroes in on the meat and the dairy. But you know, how I will say it is, not all meat is created equal. Right. So if you want to eat meat and you enjoy meat and all that stuff, do your best to make a good, healthy choice when it comes to your meat selections. Like, know where it is that your meat is coming from. That is the best thing that you can do. Now, I know Wesley was talking about like local farmers and stuff. Yes, getting your meat local is the best thing that you can do, because you know exactly where it's coming from. Obviously, grass-fed beef is better than, you know, any sort of beef that you would just take off the shelf at a grocery store. Organic, grain-fed, like chicken, like organic, cage-free, free-range, whatever, like that is obviously better than, you know, the regular plain old chicken that you would grab off the shelf at the grocery store. So wild, sustainable fish, that's better. So, and if you watch the movie, from what I've seen so far, like, he talks a lot about, I think, like big farms and how they manufacture meat and all that. But you know, if you're going towards more sustainable sources of where you get your meat, the practices they don't leave such a huge carbon footprint. You know, they definitely are more economically friendly, environmentally and economically friendly. So
thanks for that insight.
Yeah.
I know I introduced you, and she's been on the show before. It's been a while, so I think I would like to take the time, the opportunity, for you to kind of tell people again what you do. They know already that you're my trainer, but you could tell them again. Tell them that you kick my butt.
Oh.
But yeah, tell us a little bit about, because of course, just the information that she's imparting right now, you could tell that she has some type of knowledge regarding that. She's been doing it a while. She has the experience and everything. And I'm not just saying that because she's a friend and she's my trainer.
All right. My name is Tracy Yang. I own my own fitness business called
Whoop.
Train with Tracy.
Anybody interested, you need a trainer.
Yes.
Tell you.
Trainwithtracy.org.
There you
if you're
go.
Interested.
She don't play, y'all. She don't play.
And my focus, my specialty as a trainer, a fitness professional, is weight loss and transformations. And I got into this because of my own weight loss and transformation story. And of course, as I continue on my journey, my own health and fitness and beliefs and philosophies on it they change as well. So just recently, I've turned more towards a vegetarian diet. So I'm mostly plant-based. And I actually initially first did it because of cost. I was like, man, meat is expensive.
I remember our conversation.
Right. I was like, man.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, meat is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just stopped buying meat. And yeah, it makes a huge difference in the grocery bill, not buying meat. And then because, I knew, like, with my research, and I just knew that I was like, man, like, I don't want to be eating meat that's pumped full of hormones and all that. And I was like, I'm going to eat grass-fed beef. But of course, you look at that price tag and you're like, whoa.
Right.
So, that's the other thing is if you want to continue being a meat eater, I highly recommend that you, continue to do your research and, make an informed decision on what you're going to do. And don't just plan to change in like the short-term scheme of things. Like if you're going to change, make that change last, you know, and make it forever.
Understood. You are certified. I wanted to find out, what do the initials or the letters? She's a lettered certified trainer. But so I wanted to understand that a little bit. So
he's talking about the letters after my name. So NASM.
She a pro, y'all. She a pro.
NASM CPT. So I am certified by NASM. That's just but pretty much CPT is just certified personal trainer. So I am a certified personal trainer.
So this is not a fly by night.
Right. This is me. This is what I do.
Yes.
So if I'm not doing the fitness thing, I'm doing my dance thing. I'm doing my hip hop thing. So
yeah, she's an all around type of woman. Training, dancing,
right,
coaching. Yeah. Again, thanks so much for being here. And really,
pleasure.
I didn't have, not because I wasn't prepared, believe me, it's because it's been on my mind with so many different either friends and just looking on Facebook or emails and so forth. I'm like, okay, this needs to be something that's talked about, kind of like on a serious level, on a note of what is the general consensus out in either the community. I know, like, within the community and within St. Paul or Minneapolis or wherever anyone is actually listening to. So thank you all for wherever you're listening, especially if you're listening on the TuneIn app. Anywhere.
Hey.
But I think it's something that everyone might be interested in because, like you said, meats and so forth are expensive. But if that's what's all you have, I mean, yes, you have fruits and vegetables and so forth at the grocery store, but it's like, okay, well, what am I going to make with these fruits and vegetables? Or, what type of dishes are out there? And there are cookbooks that you could, obtain or even look online and find certain things. But, what would a family do that, I don't know how to put it.
Okay.
But
I think
you
I know
kind of
what
where
you're
I'm
asking.
going to.
Yeah,
okay.
I think you're saying what can a family do if to push more in the direction of being more plant-based.
Correct.
but still incorporate meat in your diet.
Yes.
So what I would do is, and this is actually how I started. Like, I didn't go cold turkey right away. Is instead of having meat with every single meal, just have it with, one or two to start. And then, of course, gradually you can drop. Or you can designate days within the week. Like, you can say, all right, we're only going to eat meat Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and whatever the other days, we are going to do, a vegetarian, plant-based diet.
Okay.
I have a friend. He is vegan Monday through Friday. Saturday and Sundays, he's like, yep,
it's on.
Yep, it's on.
I need a hamburger.
And he's lost a ton of weight doing it that way. And he started that because he's like you, like he's a food connoisseur. So, and he works for Yelp. So that's his thing. Like, he goes and he reviews restaurants and,
That's cool.
That's his whole thing. And so, but of course he was like, man, like I probably should try to be eating healthier. So then he decided to go vegan 5 days a week, and then Saturday and Sundays, he's a foodie. So
of course,
it
makes it difficult
right.
if you're just trying to be a vegan and being a foodie. I mean, you need to taste everything.
I consider myself now a plant-based foodie.
Well, see,
that's like my thing. Like,
well, then there you go.
Yeah, so so I'm still a foodie, but I find things to make it work. Like, that follows vegetarian and vegan standards or diet or lifestyle. So
that brings up a good point. I know that there are different levels to being a vegan or vegetarian. Do you understand that a little bit, or maybe that could be something that we touch on?
Yeah. So vegan is just easily put, no animal products. Period.
Okay.
So that's vegan. But vegetarian, that's the one that has like a lot of different levels.
Okay.
So there's a lot. Like, I don't even know all of them. But
okay.
There is a pescatarian, which is what I would say I am at the moment, where you
love
eat
fish.
Yeah, I was like, where you eat fish.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's where I am. I like fish. I like salmon.
Yes.
And then there is one where it's like a lacto-ovo vegetarian or something, to where you still do like the dairy, but then you don't do like the meat and stuff. Like, you don't do fish and stuff, but you'll still do milk, like cheese, stuff like that.
Interesting.
So,
gosh,
there's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's even a term called flexitarian, to where
I've heard that.
That's like the part-time vegan, part-time vegetarian.
Okay.
But some within that realm would argue that
make a choice.
Exactly. Within that realm would be like, what? That's cheating.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But so I guess that brings it back to our original question is, you can be a flexitarian.
Right.
You could eat meat, sometimes instead of all the time. And that actually does make a big difference. It will.
No,
so
I totally understand and appreciate that. Just that little bit more insight. I mean, yes, there's so much information you can find out online, but I think hearing it from someone or having the conversation, hearing their experiences and so forth is, I think, what makes or helps people make either a decision or want to look into it a little bit further.
Right.
Because you could read, it's like being hands-on. How you could sit in a classroom and hear the instructor, professor, whomever, or coach talking to you or talking to the audience, but it's only when you get in there and, okay, well, we're gonna cook a vegetarian dish or something like that, and then you taste it and you're like, oh my goodness, I could do this at home.
Yep.
This tastes bomb. It's only then where people are then going to really make that decision for themselves to say, I think I could do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it for 2 or 3 days out the week, see what my family thinks or whatnot, and then maybe expand it even more. I'm not even gonna lie. Maybe I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not trying to make no type of promises, because I don't know any person from the Caribbean or that has a Caribbean background that has totally given up meat, because there are so many tasty things out there. Oxtail, man. Oxtail, stewed chicken. Oh my gosh. I can think of so many other things that I like.
There are meat substitutes that are plant-based that have made it easier for me to transition. So I am not a fan of soy-based products, so I don't do tofu.
Okay, I recall it, but I was going to ask you, so I didn't want to just assume.
I don't do tofu, and that was something that What the Health kind of was touching on, that I was like, I don't know about that. So because soy is the way it's farmed and stuff, it's pretty much, it's like farming meat too. Like, it's really harsh in the environment. Okay. So I'm like, but then on top of that, there's been a ton of research done about soy and how it actually affects your health. So,
really?
Yeah. So I would actually, if you guys are eating a lot of soy-based products, to look into that information too. It's like, but anyway, there's other resources that are plant-based that you can get, I guess your meat substitute or replacements from. There's one where it's a wheat protein.
Interesting.
I don't know how to pronounce it though. Seitan. I always say it wrong and people laugh at me. Seitan.
Okay.
I want to say Seitan.
Interesting.
But Seitan. That that's usually what mock duck is made out of. People have been led to believe that mock duck is tofu, but it's actually not. It's a wheat protein.
It is. They call it wheat meat.
Yeah. So, however, if you're gluten free, that's not the direction that you would want to go.
Understood.
So.
Because I did see that.
Yep.
That's another thing. I mean, in talking about doing, going a plant based, are on the lines of gluten. Is there anything that someone that is has a gluten intolerance to, that they should worry about if they are going to be going or trying out a plant-based lifestyle? I know we just touched on that item or ingredient or whatnot. But
so I actually think if you transition to a more plant-based lifestyle, it will actually work in your favor if you're gluten-free.
Okay.
Because when you're more plant-based, you eat more whole, unprocessed foods.
Okay.
And it's usually the processed foods where you find a lot of that gluten problem.
Understood.
So things like quinoa is it's a grain, but it's gluten free. It's naturally gluten free. So already in the foods that are whole and unprocessed, there are more naturally gluten free. And that's the thing. When people say plant based, you need to be plant based, not starch based. So I think.
So what's the difference?
So starch based, it would be more like pasta.
Okay.
Like you eat like nothing but carbs. You're not actually plant based. Like you don't actually consume vegetables.
So what about like potatoes or?
Yes, but
carrots?
but what I'm saying is there's some people that would be like, I'm vegetarian, but they don't ever eat vegetables.
Oh.
They'll eat just pasta or pretty much the processed foods that have no meat.
That's why I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
So that's what I want to. That's what
clarify.
That's what I want to clarify to people is yes, go plant based, but plant based doesn't mean you eat grains all day long. Like plant based is there's a way to do it to where you don't create vitamin and mineral deficiencies within yourself.
That's the other thing that I was listening to as well, in line with what the health and the video and so forth. When it comes down to I don't know the nutritional values or your daily allowances that you should be intake. I mean, can that all come from just having a plant-based life or living a plant-based lifestyle?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It can. That's my standpoint on it. From the research that I've done, you absolutely can.
Go ahead.
The biggest thing that when I debate with other trainers or even nutritionists about this, they'll be like, it's not possible. How is it possible? Because the number one argument they will say is, where do you get your protein from?
Right.
Because plant sources, a lot of them, just by themselves, it's not a complete protein source. So what they mean, when people say it's a complete protein, what they mean is that there's 9 essential amino acids. For a food source to be considered a complete protein, it has to have all 9 of those. So when they say, oh, this is a complete protein, they're just saying that it has all 9 of those amino acids in it. Meat is one source in which it automatically has that in it, so you don't have to think about it.
Right.
Now with plant-based, yes, you do have to do a little bit more work, but because you have to educate yourself, you have to know what it is that you are putting into your body. So quinoa is a complete protein because it has all 9 essential amino acids in it.
I know you're trying to get me to get them. I know you told me this last time.
Quinoa. But on top, so that's just an example. Now, people say, well, I mean, all the other sources, like, what about those? What about, they don't have a complete, protein profile? And I go, well, duh, that's how you make it your own. So true. A very common combination that people don't know that is actually plant-based, but it's a complete protein, is rice and beans. Black beans and corn. So those, complete protein sources. But yeah, people will just be, where do you get your protein from? Where do you get your protein from? And I'm like, there's several sources within, just plants that are completely protein. Like there's tons of protein in it, and people just kind of disregard it. The other protein myth, I would say, is the belief of how much protein you actually need.
Okay.
So yeah, if you actually look on, I forgot the actual website, dang it. We'll have to post it later.
Okay.
But this it's one of the associations that's mentioned in What the Health.
Okay.
According to their calculation, you only need it's like an actual formula to, I think it's 0.8 or maybe even lower, like 0.5 times your body weight. That's like the amount of protein that you need in a day, which actually isn't very much. I would actually argue to say that you can probably even go less. Like we live in a society now to where protein has been pushed a lot, but you actually don't need that much. And I will actually come on air and say this because I've actually tested it out myself too. I used to, protein supplement all the time religiously. I'd put it in any and everything, and I used to, measure out 4 to 5 ounces of chicken every single meal because I was like, oh, I need my protein. I need enough protein. But then as I was transitioning more to become more, vegetarian, plant-based, I was like, I wonder if it's actually true. So my physique actually looks better now than when I was eating meat. Not that I got a bomb body or anything, but look at Wesley.
I didn't say anything. See, okay.
But what I'm saying is, like, if physical aesthetics, if something that it's a focus for you on your journey, but that's how the whole protein thing became pushed anyway within the whole health and fitness realm, was you need your protein so that you can build muscle, you need your protein so that you can do this. But I've gone without supplements for a while now, and I'm like, I feel fine.
So I'm looking. I didn't find the calculation, but I was going to ask you anyway. What do you? They have a listing here, a few things, but more on the plant-based. Aside from quinoa, is there another vegetable that you feel might also be at least come close to those 9 or having those 9 amino acids?
Chia seeds is also one.
Okay.
That's another complete protein. Jeez.
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Chickpeas or garbanzo beans.
Okay.
That's also another one.
Okay.
That doesn't mean go out and eat all the hummus that you want, people.
Because,
avocado.
So I'll have sushi in it if that's the case.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. I'm trying to list some that are not soy based. So tempeh, if you ever see tempeh, that's made out of soy also.
Why does that sound so good?
Tempeh, tempeh.
Maybe I've heard that before. I'm not sure where.
Lentils. Duh, Tracy.
Okay, yeah.
Lentils are a complete protein.
Now, are we talking about when it comes down to like beans or lentils and so on? Is there a difference between doing like the dried that comes in the bag and you cooking it yourself, or from a can?
It's obviously it's always better if you just do it yourself.
Okay.
But of course, the things with beans is that they take a long time if you soak them.
They do.
So if you're going to do canned to save yourself some time in the kitchen, I highly recommend no salt added.
Okay.
If you're going to do canned beans, and of course, if you can, organic, but so organic, no salt beans.
Can I put some salt pork in there? No, I'm kidding.
Well, that's what I mean, is like I'd rather have you control your own salt intake versus having someone do it for you.
Understood.
And that salt that sits, they add the salt to the canned foods, all for preservation.
Okay, right, of course.
But and on top of that, it's really high sodium. So I'd rather have you do no salt, and then, if you're because you're cooking it yourself already, and you're already going to add salt when you cook, I'd rather have you control the salt intake.
Which makes sense, and it's understandable. Aside from the ones that she mentioned, which again are more plant-based, if you're looking for, and I'm going the route of, it's almost like bucking against what the health and what the video is talking about, but if you're trying to find more opportunities to get more protein in your life, definitely beans, nuts, seeds, yes. There are others. I mean, for instance, they have chicken, but skinless. Turkey, of course, skinless. Fish. Is there I know I'm thinking of salmon. That would provide more of that protein, or those fatty acids that we need.
Salmon,
or oils, I should say.
Tuna.
Yep.
I tend when I eat fish, I tend to go for the higher fat content fish because of the oils that fish provides.
Okay.
So, tilapia is a popular fish choice, but I would actually say be careful of where you get your tilapia.
Okay. We asked about that, and I mentioned that there is a great website called Seafood Watch. So if if you've never visited, please visit there. It gives you some good seafood recommendations. The different types of fish. Sorry, I was talking out of my side of my mouth. The different types of fish to avoid, or that are good alternatives. Visit the website. It is seafoodwatch.org. Again, it even tells you some businesses and restaurants that are that really are geared towards sustainable, sustainable fish or sustainable. What is it called? What is the phrase? And I looked at
sustainable farming.
Yes, farming. Yeah. Sorry.
Sustainable farm fish.
Correct. There was one specific one that is on, and I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly. It's Kaichi, I think. Kyatci. It's a, goodness gracious, it's kind of like a sushi restaurant, really, but Kyatci, I think. It's in Minneapolis. I could be wrong.
Kayachi?
Yes, I'm sorry. See, I told you I was going to pronounce it wrong. Sorry. Kayachi. Yeah. Thank you, Tracy.
You're so welcome.
But I mean, clearly they, along with, of course, they've listed Whole Foods. They've listed also Kowalski's. Of course, Lunds and Byerly's. Those are like the three major grocery stores. And I'm surprised that Hy-Vee is not on there, but I don't know about Hy-Vee.
I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this store, but Fresh Thyme in Richfield is bomb diggity dang. Like, it's awesome. They have sustainably farmed fish.
Really, just like all different types or something, or
I'm going to target on tilapia specifically because it's hard to find sustainably farmed tilapia. But yeah, they have like wild caught fish and all sorts of that. That it's like freshly flown in that morning, like that day.
I really I have to get over to Coastal Foods and ask them that same question. Is the fish that they're...
Yeah, I've always wondered. I'm like, do they... how fresh is their fish?
Right. So, I mean, admittedly, I have had a friend, we made sushi, or they brought all the different cuts of fish, tuna, whitefish, or yellowtail, or whatever, over, and gosh, they just seemed like the cuts were... I'm so excited about that. It was just that the cuts were just so... You could see that this fish was like, where did you guys get this from? This is like, you just slice this fish open and you're just laying it in the refrigerated section or something. But I thought that they were really, really great. The color was great. I know that color of foods and fish and so forth, you really can't read that much into it. You do have to ask the question of, hey, has this fish or the fish that you all offer, is it sustainably farmed? Or how long have you had it or whatnot? Are there other questions like that we would need to ask restaurants or even places where we get our fish and so forth?
I think that's another thing. When you go out to restaurants and things, don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
I think a lot of people are afraid to ask because they don't want to be that person.
Right. Because that's when they start thinking, this person's bougie.
Right. But it's your body.
Right.
Not theirs.
And we are the ones paying the money for the fit. I mean, the food that we're
don't
consuming.
Be afraid to ask. And unfortunately, a lot of times you'll go to a place that says, I don't know. That's usually an indicator that it is, they just buy it from Tyson or something.
Oh, dang it.
So, a lot of times they'll be like, but it's usually the vegan, more what people would say the hipster places.
Right.
You ask their employees, they'll know. They'll be like, oh, yeah, no, like, we get it from such and such.
Right. Gosh, the topic again has been so lively to talk about. Thank you so much for being here and just providing a bit more professional insight on that. We're in closing. Do you want to kind of plug Train with Tracy?
Oh, of course. Talk
about that.
So again, trainwithtracy.org if you want to know more about me and the services that I offer. I would also like to invite you all, if you all have any questions, anything on health and fitness related, go ahead and shoot me an email. Tracy at trainwithtracy.org, and I spelled Tracy Tracy. So go ahead, reach out. I'd love to hear from you all too. And yep, I'm on all the social media platforms, so you can find me there. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just Train with Tracy. And I have a 6-week boot camp coming up in the fall.
I'm on week 4 or 5, or we're going to week 5. So anyway.
Yeah. So Wesley is in the summer edition, and we're having fun with that.
Yep.
But I believe Wesley's coming back for the fall one. So if you guys all want to be cool like Wesley,
but yet un-bougie.
Right. And please join us with the 6-week fall boot camp. We have a lot of fun. So
it is a lot of fun, y'all.
Yeah.
She does put us to work, but that's all right, though. You got that summer body, that winter body, that winter fat goes away.
I asked Wesley the other day because I noticed that he's looking, a little bit more trim. So I asked him. I was like, "Are your clothes fitting differently?"
I did say, what did I say? I said yes, I did. I admit, I'm not, honestly, don't be intimidated, folks. I know that was a conversation that we were having too. I personally was intimidated. I've always been intimidated by a boot camp. I had a little personal revelation that I posted on Facebook or whatever, just on my own personal page. But when you have body issues and everything, it causes you it tends to cause you not to take steps to change something about yourself, and the space, the environment that I'm working with, that Tracy has available for the fitness, is really, like she says, no judgment, a lot of fun, but she does work, yo. I'm just saying, yo, akabaka.
Yeah, no, I do my best to create a positive and safe, supportive environment for everyone.
Way cool.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. Before I go, I just want to tell you all that there is going to be a wonderful event that is going to be going on August 26th, which is 7th Street Live. That will be hosted by 104.7 WEQY. That will be from noon to 6 on that date, so please make sure you save the date. Also, I'd like to remind you that I myself will be at the fair on August 27th for the event that I have I have labeled as Foodies at the Fair. So Minnesota State Fair is having a specific date set aside just for cooks, celebrity chefs, and so on, which is again August 27th. I would like you to come out and share that day with me. It really is a celebration because, as I mentioned earlier in the show, today marks a 1-year anniversary for me for being on the air. So again, thank you so much for being listeners. I will be sending out an invitation on the Facebook page for the Un-Bougie Foodie. So please make sure that you check out the page. I'll be also posting a video just telling you a little bit more about the information. You'll have, I promise you, the joy. You'll enjoy yourself. You'll get a gift or two. You never know. But there'll be an opportunity for you to get a really great prize because there will be kind of a contest associated with it. So as I end, again, I want to thank everyone that is taking the time to listen to me every Saturday at 10 a.m. Those that are listening on all the social medias as well as the TuneIn app. Thank you so much. As I end every show, well, even before I do that, Tracy, thank you again for being here. I appreciate it. But as I end every show, I want to encourage everyone to never let anyone tell you what type of foodie to be, because really, it is all about the food. Until next time, people, peace.